In the 1950s, conformity was prevalent and the American dream was conservative and traditional. Some of you may have seen the Showtime series Weeds, the story of a housewife, Nancy Brown, who was driven to dealing pot to support her family. Here's the introduction to Weeds with a version of Pete Seeger's song, Little Boxes.
Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes just the same. There's a green one, and a pink one, and a blue one, and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. And the people in the houses all went to the university. There they were put in boxes and they came out all the same. There's a doctor and a lawyer and a business executive, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same.
Folk singer Pete Seeger believed he could use music to inform and influence people of his time on the current issues Americans were facing. His works include songs for children, free speech, human rights, protecting the environment, promoting peace, and furthering social justice. His role as a social and anti-Vietnam War activist often brought him trouble with many conservative groups. Seeger was called to testify at the HUAC trials when Joseph McCarthy accused him of being a communist, and he was eventually found guilty and blacklisted. Though some acknowledge Seeger as only a famous folk singer, a critic says others perceived him as standing for peace, equality, and decency in a troubled world. Despite his earlier conflicts, Seeger kept his role as an activist in folk music when he says, "I know I'm just one more grain of sand in this world, but I'd rather throw my weight, however small, on the side of what I think is right."
His persistent activism shows in 1963 when Seeger recorded Malvina Reynolds' Little Boxes. Little Boxes is a satiric song that targets the conformity of the 1950s. Soon after Seeger recorded Little Boxes, it was applied to Levittown, a suburban development where almost every house was identical. The song says the homes were all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same. Listen to him sing and see how Levittown, along with other suburban communities of mostly whites, became a symbol of social conformity in the 1950s.
Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a green one, and a pink one, and a blue one, and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. And the people in the houses all went to the university where they were put in boxes. They came out all the same. And there's doctors, there's lawyers, and business executives, and you're all made out of ticky-tacky, and you all look just the same. And they all play on the golf course and drink their martinis dry, and they all have pretty children, and the children go to school, and the children go to summer camp, and then to the university where we all get put in boxes and we all come out the same. And the boys go into business and marry and raise a family in boxes made of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. There's a pink one, and a green one, and a blue one, and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same.
Little Boxes takes focus on the conformity of the 1950s. It criticizes the sameness of all the houses aside from minor differences. The song continues on to talk about the cycle of generations. The kids go to school, then camp, then the university where they get a career, and then they too move into one of the look-alike houses. They then have kids who go through the same thing. Ultimately, the song is showing how this era of conformity would continue for generations. Though Little Boxes only became a minor hit, Seeger was able to influence many American views on their common lifestyle. In his book, And They All Sang, Studs Terkel writes about Pete Seeger. "I know of no singer who has influenced more young people singing or at least attempting to sing folk music." Seeger's music and activism has prevailed through generations despite being one of the most protested singers in American history. Writer John Sterngass says, Seeger widely influenced countless performers, and his instructional books and records inspired generations of self-taught musicians and folk singers. He always believed there was something in the best music to inform, stir, rally, direct, or cause social and personal interaction. His music helped unionize workers and encourage civil rights and anti-war activists. In his case, at least one person could make a difference, and the United States was a better place for his having lived in it.